Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers, the #1 industry in the Silver State. No surprise, gaming. How's it doing? And how's the motel industry holding up against the threat of Indian gaming? Andy's got the week off, so I've got the rundown. You can't do any better if you want to know about the gaming industry to get the head of the Gaming Control Board, Dennis Neilander. He's here. Plus, on the motel industry, David Miller represents them on the RSCVA. We'll talk to him as well. And coming up on the Power Pundit panel today, Wayne Frediani, Alfredo Alonso, and Martha Gould. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Aboud family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8, lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1, have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp, have a sip, try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Andy Engelman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we are joined by the head of the Gaming Control Board. That's Dennis Neilander. Pleasure to have you here, Dennis. I know you don't make these appearances very often.
Oh, my pleasure to be here. Happy holidays.
And to you. Let's start out with a topic that rather interests me. We know unfortunately, from scandals in Southern Nevada, that these topless nightclubs have been a problem down there, and certainly as far as bribery and corruption in Southern Nevada. Now we find an upscale version of this, not a topless club, but some kind of strip tease club going into a major property on the Strip. Do you envision a co-joining of these two industries at all?
You know, I don't think at this time that there would be. I think the gaming industry, at least to date, has tried to maintain some decorum in terms of the entertainment that's offered. And I know that at the board level, we've had some discussion about this.
I know Bobby Siller would be very unhappy to have
Right,
this.
and as the law enforcement member of the board, I mean, what he says in those matters carries great weight. And there is no law that prevents that, but there are general laws that can be construed because those types of facilities are difficult to police. And one of the things we consider in determining whether a location is suitable is whether it's difficult to police. And certainly those types of establishments have proven in the past from a law enforcement perspective to be very difficult to police.
Let's shift gears to Indian gaming. One of the raps against Indian gaming is that it isn't regulated properly. What's your view on that?
Well, I think that You know, it's something that's evolving because of the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act. The structure that was set up was very different from what you might see at a state level type of regulatory system. There are advances being made. I think there is a ways to go before the federal regulations are actually becoming effective. I think that at this point in time, there are advances being made, but certainly there's more that needs to be done in that area.
Are you more comfortable with the Nevada operators who are operating on behalf of Indian tribes than you are with perhaps other groups?
Well, and I don't know that much about the other groups, but I do know that what's going on with Nevada operators, and certainly what they do when they operate in those environments is they try to adhere to the same standards they would if they were operating in Nevada. So we are comfortable in that setting.
Okay, let's take this overseas. Both Steve Wynn and Sheldon Adelson, Wynn Resorts and the Venetian, are opening up major properties in Macau, which is a special autonomous region of China now, as is Hong Kong. I've been to Macau. If you talk about den of iniquity, a picture of Macau is there. One person owns all the casinos up until this point on the island, and it is notorious for being infested with criminals of all kinds. How comfortable are you with the level of regulation that the Chinese government is going to put in for Nevada operators to operate there and still be able to maintain their Nevada licenses?
You know, that's a question that is yet to be answered, but I would
I'm
say
hoping you'll do it today.
I would say that the regulators in Nevada, we've had frequent communications with not only the Macau regulators, but also the Macau legislature. And they have visited Nevada on several occasions, and we've had ongoing discussions with the people who are actually drafting the regulatory reforms there. They recognize that there needs to be reform in Macau, and they're very serious about that reform. Particular areas of issuance of credit and things of that nature that don't exist right now in Macau, but they have legislation drafted to put those in place, and at least the individuals I've been in contact with are very serious about the reforms. And I think the Nevada operators recognize that those reforms need to be in place in order for them to be able to operate comfortably in that environment.
Steve Wynn hasn't even progressed at this point. Sheldon Adelson has moved ahead with building his first casino, but Steve Wynn is still holding back until the government passes more regulation.
Yeah, and you know, it's like with anything. I mean, any government, it takes time to get these things in place, and they are diligently working in that direction. But the other thing to keep in mind is that prior to 1991, the Nevada operators had to receive prior commission approval before they could move outside the state. That bill, or that law, was called the Foreign Gaming Act, was repealed, and the Gaming Control Board did not support that. We didn't believe that was good policy, but in any event, it was repealed, and it was replaced with is essentially a reporting requirement. So there is no longer a requirement that the regulators approve somebody's outside of Nevada conduct. The requirement now is that when persons engage in gaming outside of Nevada that are licensed here, they must do so in accordance with not only all applicable laws in that jurisdiction, but they must maintain those operations under Nevada law as well. So that is that's really the standard that'll be used in this case.
Now, my suggestion would be to have the Chinese army surround the place and stop people from coming in and going out without a pass. But it'll be interesting to see how it develops, and I hope for our Nevada properties it will be a great way to funnel people back here to Nevada. Let's talk about, just briefly here, because we're almost out of time, online gaming. Is it ever going to be sanctioned here in the Silver State?
Not in the near future. The federal government, in particular the Department of Justice, has taken the position that the Federal Wire Act prohibits internet gambling. And so long as the federal government takes that position, Nevada essentially is not, it doesn't even have the ability to lawfully move forward. There are several bills pending in Congress right now which would clarify the Wire Act and in essence make the clarification so that the Wire Act is clearer in respect of prohibiting internet gaming. But even until those bills are passed, because of the Department of Justice's position, internet gambling is an illegal activity.
It's an illegal one, but is the horse already out of the stable? Yes or no?
Well, it certainly is something that's becoming prevalent outside of the U.S. And we've had Nevada operators who have engaged in internet gaming outside the U.S., but they had to be certain that they wouldn't accept any wagers from countries where it was prohibited. And that, at this point, is a fairly costly way to do business. So the operators, at least in the case of MGM Mirage, operated for roughly a year and then closed their site because it was not profitable.
We're out of time on this segment. I hope you'll come back and see us again.
Absolutely.
Dennis Neilander, pleasure
Thanks
to have
for
you
having
here.
me.
We'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers after this time out.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Andy Engelman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by David Miller. He represents the Reno Sparks Motel Hotel Association here on the RSCVA board, and he also runs the Medwood Courtyard Motel. Pleasure to have you here.
Morning, Sam. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a
Happy
pleasure.
holidays.
And to you, too. You know, we talk a lot about the casino industry and the major hotel properties, but we have a huge motel operation in this town as well. What's the health of the operation, considering all the challenges we've seen in the marketplace?
Well, as you well know, the face of the hotel and motel business across the nation has changed in the last few years due to world events. And I believe that in this community we're still feeling some of the effects of that, just as everyone else is. However, looking toward the future from this fall forward, I think we're all guardedly optimistic about what's in front of us. I believe that the impacts of Indian gaming, which were thought to be dramatic this fall, were probably not quite as anticipated, and I think that's a good sign for recovery for the industry.
Are you seeing the kind of bookings going into first quarter that are making you comfortable by comparison year to year?
Well, the RSCVA has a huge role in the health of the lodging industry and the gaming industry in this community. And over the last couple of years, since Jeff Beckelman's been on board as the CEO, we're beginning to see and get back to the level of convention business and the level of citywide business that we experienced in the late 90s. The addition of the convention center being completed and the expansion, as well as hopefully the upcoming downtown event center, will have a huge impact. And the answer to your question of the current bookings, I think it's what you would expect for this time of year and as we move forward for the 2004.
Okay, your property is down in South Virginia near the convention center. Are you seeing a different kind of visitor? Are you seeing more of a business traveler coming to the community? Because I'm interested, because we have so much economic diversification, we are seeing different kinds of people coming into the marketplace.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Essentially what happened back in September a couple years ago is the whole entire industry, the traveling public, the business industry essentially dried up. That's pretty well documented. And then the first to recover was the business traveler, and we've been heavily dependent upon that, just as we've been heavily dependent on the convention here. The last segment to recover in our business, and I'm pretty sure, I would say across the board, is the individual, the frequent individual traveler or the frequent independent traveler who is the person coming from Sacramento, San Francisco, Dallas, who books a flight, and decides to come to Reno for a vacation for gaming. And so the answer to your question is that's exactly right. The face of the business has changed. It has become more corporate and more structured. However, the signs are that that's going to start improving, and hence we should have a significant recovery in 2004.
We used to see in the past that if we had a busy weekend at the major properties downtown, the spillover to the downtown motel properties was significant. Are we still seeing that? And with something like the Sundowner closing, does that in a bizarre way help the motel industry? Well,
I think you're on the right track there. It's a supply and demand, just as in any other business. And as some of the pool gets reduced, of course you're going to see some of that. But the days are really over that I'm aware of. Talking to my fellow operators of the local property, the bigger properties filling up, and then everybody fills up, and life is wonderful. You pretty much have to stand on your own and attract your own customer, because the days of everybody filling up are over. It used to be that you were guaranteed a number of years ago that every Friday and Saturday night, if you had a room available, you would not have a room available on the weekend. And it's not that way anymore. Now you're not guaranteed Saturday. You'll guaranteed most Saturdays, but not all. And Fridays are very iffy. So you have to go out and attract the customer and get them to your facility, whether it be through marketing, word of mouth, or rates.
Well, let me ask you this, and I find that an interesting question. Are the individual properties, these motels, able to market themselves individually? I mean, that's a pretty tough job and an expensive one.
Well, the face of what we consider the motel business has changed over the years here, and that's not anything really new. A lot of the smaller properties have changed their business to accommodate weekly and more residential type business. The larger, what I call middle of the road properties, of which we're one of them, have maintained our integrity there as far as attracting and looking for the traveling public. However, as you'll note in the last couple of years, you've seen a change in the Reno market with a new Marriott out on Gateway, and then a new Marriott here in the center of town, and also another Fairfield out in Sparks. So for the first time in as long as I can remember, we now have a new motel or hotel base that is non-gaming that's attracted to this area, and I might add, from what I understand, they're doing fairly well.
And it sounds to me that you're pretty optimistic for 2004.
Well, absolutely.
I have to have a yes or no.
Yes, I am.
That's all I need. David Miller, come back again, will you?
Thank you,
Thanks
Sam.
for being here. We'll be back with the Pundits right after this timeout.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Aboud family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Andy Engelman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers. Andy's on vacation this week. We are joined by our pundit panel. And first off, Howard Rosenberg is here. We're going to be talking about the university system with you tomorrow. So we're going to talk about other topics with you today, if that's all right.
Good. I'm delighted.
Wayne Frediani is here. He's with the Franchise Auto Dealers Association. Martha Gould, Washoe County Democrat. And Alfredo Alonso with Lionel, Sawyer, and Collins. Okay, Norm Clark, columnist in the Las Vegas Review-Journal, has a story in the paper that says strip plus tease equals new club. Ivan Kane's 40 Deuce, a Melrose Avenue hotspot with a burlesque twist, will be a high-end striptease lounge with emphasis on tease. And they're saying that there'll be no nudity, but we've taken the art of striptease and turned it on its ear. It will be done with a lot of class, taste, and style, and it will be at Mandalay Bay. That's what I was talking with Dennis Neilander.
Hello, Martha, you have to be old to remember, though. You know, what do these kids know?
They know from nothing.
Okay, the gentlemen's club business in Las Vegas is huge and extremely influential, especially in political circles. In fact, over the top in some cases. Do we have any concerns here about this kind of business moving into our properties? And this business is not one of those, but it's getting pretty close.
I think that it's probably somewhat of a unique marketing effort. I think that's what happened, and is a lot of the customers that come into these gaming facilities that may be brought in by the casino as comps or whatever, maybe leave the property, go to these off-the-strip clubs, spend quite a bit of money that, quite frankly, the casino wishes that they could have them in their facility, either at a lounge or gaming, and so they're trying to put, for lack of a better word, maybe a little hook into a marketing scheme to keep their customer on the property.
And some of these properties are like valued at up to $30 million.
Well, I think it's a brilliant move. I mean, obviously they're not. I guess you could say stooping to the level of some of these strip clubs, but they're certainly trying to get part of the action with respect to the individuals that come to these conventions, etc., and keep them there in the property. So I think it's a brilliant move.
Okay,
it's a shame that we don't do something like that here in Reno.
Well, let's get an in-depth report here from Howard Rosenberg, who's visited one of these establishments, much to my surprise and perhaps chagrin.
Years and years ago, when I was a kid growing up, the Old Howard in Boston, Massachusetts, was the premier striptease club, well, theater, in the country. And what we lost as we got older was the tease. And it centered on the strip. In the old days, you never saw nudity.
Nope,
you thought you did, but you didn't. I remember Gypsy Rose Lee coming out on stage to do a half an hour. She wore a black strapless gown with vine wrapped around. No,
we don't have time.
Oh,
this is Nevada Newsmakers.
It's a good story.
Fine, but get to what's going on right now. You went to one of these places.
Yes, I went to Sapphire's down in Las Vegas. It is one of the most exquisitely designed places that I've ever seen. What I saw was done with elegance and style. Yes, most everything, you know, the pole and the dancing was still there, but it was done with great style, great dignity. I guess it could get raunchy later on. I was there earlier in the evening.
This would be the 3 o'clock in the afternoon show.
Well, I felt that in the spirit of inquiry, I needed to see for myself.
But you were not offended?
Not in the least.
Would you be offended if it was at a major hotel casino?
No, I would think that they would be very careful not to offend their customers.
See, I would look at this as more of a throwback.
If anything, I think that this is thinking out of the box, which is something we don't seem to do very well in the city of Reno.
Or in the state, for that matter.
I would compare this more to the old vaudeville acts and the street tease acts in Vegas, rather than the strip club. So I think it's a bad comparison, actually.
Martha's just said something really important here. Tempest Storm was at Harold's Club for years.
Yeah, that's right.
Did one of the best acts I've ever seen, with style and grace. It can be done. Sam, real quick, all I was trying to say about Gypsy Rose Lee was she never took anything off. She unpinned 5 leaves, and you were convinced she was stark naked when she walked off the stage.
Never.
It's all done with theatrical style, grace, and elegance. It can be done.
And let me say something else. We're talking now about
Briefly.
Don't forget the ladies. Don't forget the ladies.
You know, I cannot believe on this pundit panel today that I have rolled over to the extreme conservative side, and maybe I better roll back. This I never believed would happen.
I'm going to lose a couple of more pounds. Maybe I got a job in the future.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers with some closing thoughts, I think.
Oh, my.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
Sign up for Wells Fargo free checking. You get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Back on Nevada Newsmakers, I cannot believe the former Washoe County librarian is insisting that we expand our entertainment options to strip clubs, and we got to take care of the women too. We'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers with Howard tomorrow. We're going to grill him about all the scandals down south. We'll see you.